Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dadas Show, coming to you from Pullman, Nairobi, here in Upper Hill. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbone. Now, as our name suggests, Dadas Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity amongst Kenyan women. And we do this by creating an open and a safe platform for women to discuss any and all issues pertaining to their health and well-being, their lifestyle, careers, their families, and anything that affects them in one way or another. We also pride ourselves in having conversations that matter, not only to women, but to communities at large. Today, we are diving into a space that has for very long been dominated by men, but not anymore. I'm talking about the construction industry. So from architects to surveyors to masons, the construction industry is being reshaped by bold, visionary, and resilient women who are not only breaking ground, but are also breaking barriers. So on this special edition, we have brought together women who are leading construction companies, managing complex on-site projects, and of course, training the next generation of artisans. And they're doing all of this as they fight for gender equity in infrastructure and design. We're definitely very proud of these ladies, and we are so glad to join them. Our conversation today will be talking about leadership, empowerment, and we'll also talk about the on-ground realities that women face on the scaffolds, in the boardroom, and anywhere in between. So I welcome you today to tip your hard hat to these dadas who are not only building structures, but are also building legacies. Remember to join us across all social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. You can also reach me at Ashiko the host across all social media platforms. You can also reach us at Dadas Show KBC on Facebook. We're looking forward to your feedback, your questions, and remember to like, subscribe, and definitely follow. Let's jump into today's feature before we get into this very, very exciting conversation.
The building and construction sector has seen increased efforts to attract, retain, and empower women across all levels, from the job site to executive leadership. The sector is a highly male-dominated industry globally that sees a small number of women get into it. According to a survey by Dadas in partnership with the International Development Research Center and Builder, women account for about 3% of construction artisan in Kenya, despite the industry's rapid growth and high labor demand. Among the professional roles include registered engineers, contractors, quantity surveyors, architecture, with 11.8% being women, urban planners, and construction management. The report further states that the industry is estimated to be valued at $4.4 billion and is growing at a rate of about 7% annually. Women have made remarkable strides in the building and construction industry, and some of their achievements include Emma Miloyo, the first woman to graduate with first-class honors in architecture from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, and later became the first female president of the Architecture Association of Kenya in 2017. Successful women civil engineers include Sheila Wairimu Mwarangu, Kagure Wamunyu, Tatu Gatere, among others. These achievements showcase the growing presence and impact of women in Kenya's building and construction industry, from professional leadership and innovation to foundational training and advocacy. Women are now making strides in architecture, engineering, corporate leadership, and social enterprise, driving vocational empowerment, winning major industry awards, and influencing policy for more gender-inclusive practices. Challenges such as gender stereotypes bias are still rife in the sector, with women subjected to a gender bias when applying for jobs. Women in the building and construction industry, both globally and Kenya, face a number of systematic and cultural challenges. These obstacles limit their participation, career growth, and safety. For Dadas Show, my name is Miriam Odanga.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, today's conversation is about women in construction and how they're definitely breaking barriers, not just ground. So right next to me, I've got Tatu Gatere, who is the CEO of Build Her and of course an architect by profession. Karibu sana Tatu. Right next to her, I have Celestine Ralak, who is a site manager stroke supervisor. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can imagine your schedule is very busy. And then finally, I have got Rachel Patience Mulondo, who is a quantity surveyor. Of course, I cannot fail to acknowledge my wonderful audience who take time to sit with us as we discuss, as we learn and support each other through conversation. So to start us off, I'll start off with you, Tatu. So you wanted to become an architect. In my book, those are one of the careers that are always considered male-dominated. So did you wake up one morning and decide, you know what, I want to be an architect, I want to design things, or was there a journey towards us? What inspired this journey for you?
Growing up when I was young, I always wanted to be a chef, up until Form 4. And at that point, I saw a magazine that had skyscrapers, which is very funny to me because that is the one thing as an architect I've never designed and I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But I was really intrigued by these skyscrapers. It was the 90s, there was barely anything like that in the city. And I just wanted to be a part of it. It felt like a sci-fi frontier.
Yes.
And going through my architecture studies, I was just really inspired and driven how architecture really frames the built environment. It affects everything, where you work, where you sleep. Every aspect of the built environment is shaped by architecture. So I really wanted to contribute to shaping our environments.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I like what you've just said. Architecture inspires or affects every single facet of our lives. Yes. And I think when you really think about it, you know, yeah, definitely you're right. Let's move on to you, Celestine. So Celestine, you're a site manager, you know, and a supervisor. We're talking about a construction site. That is definitely not an easy feat. You know, walk us through your day. How did you become a site manager and how do you handle your day-to-day obligations?
I came as a site manager through Builder, where we get training. We are being trained as a women on construction. We are trained about communication skills, leadership skills, and every types of skills that will benefit women. Yes. So through Build Her, I was training about painting. Yes. So I became a painter by profession. And I went on a site to find a job. There, when I reached there, I found so many women there. So we were being asked, are you capable to do such kind of work? I told the manager, yes, we are capable. So the manager just looked at us and he said that, okay, let me give you some samples to do. So I was among those 3 women, we were 4, and I was among the best. So I was taken to be one of the workers. Yes. So through working there, I gained so much skill and experience. Yeah. And being disciplined all through, I was taken as a supervisor. Oh, wow. And as you know, in that male-dominated industry, it's not an easy industry. Yes. You have to be strong. Okay, so you have to be strong and also intelligent upside, and also you have to be keen on what you do. When you give a demand, you don't just give a demand like, I'm the leader, no. You also have to be friendly with them for you to be respected also. But there's a limit to that friendship. Yeah, there's a limit. You are a leader at the same time and you are a worker also.
That is definitely truly inspirational, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you so much, Celestine, for that. I'm looking forward to hearing more about how you deal with those disgruntled employees. Wale wanasema hawezi chukua instructions kutoka kwa mwanamke. Yeah. But let's move on to you, Madam Patience. When we are talking about a quantity surveyor, kindly, what role does a quantity surveyor play? You know, for those who do not know. Personally, I do, but, you know, for my audience, please explain to us.
Quantity surveyors deal with construction cost management and contract administration. We guide the clients and the rest of the team on the costs required for the project, the resources, how they'll be spent so that a client can plan their budget well, especially if they're going to need external funding, say from a bank. You need to be able to know what resources will be needed when. So that's what we do to guide the clients so that they do not get stuck or the project does not stall, because that also in the long run costs the client money.
Yes.
In the contract administration, we try to guide everyone on their obligations as per the contract. All that is outlined. So if anything seems to be falling out of place or if someone needs clarity, we guide on that. Yes.
So thank you so much. We'll dig a little bit on that, especially how you manage big projects. But let's come back to you, Tatu. There's something phenomenal that you do in your organization, especially filling in the gap for women in construction. Please tell us a little bit about that and what your inspiration behind that was.
Yes, so Build Her is a social enterprise that works to empower low-income women from informal settlements with access to employment, jobs, and businesses in the construction sector as fundis, as tradeswomen. And I was really inspired because as I was growing my profession as an architect, I could see, I mean, I started in the early 2000s. There were very few women. Now, if you look at the number of women in architecture, it's really rising. But ukienda site, when you go to a site project, there's no women. So I would go to site and I think, surely, all these construction jobs, all these women in the informal settlements who need work, there's no connection here. So in about 2018, I helped think through how women could be integrated in construction, and we set up an organization. So I founded an organization called Build Her. And this organization asks the question, why aren't women being integrated in the construction workforce?
Yes.
So our approach is very community driven. We go into communities, we have partners where we can recruit women from community groups who are looking for jobs. And then we put them through a rigorous process. We have to be sure that you're ready for the challenge of construction. And then we offer these women, if they qualify, we offer them free access to education. And our training is very holistic. We not only look at the technical competency, we look at your mindset, your attitude, your communication. We look at whether you're ready to overcome barriers, because it's not going to be easy for you. But in architecture, we did it. We can do it in construction. And then we help women understand they have to take ownership of their lives, take ownership of that challenge of looking for work, but we'll equip them with everything they need. So we look at hands-on skills. We have partners in many construction companies who tell us exactly what they need. What are you lacking from your workforce? And we make sure we train to that competency level, and we work with women as they step into work. And Build Her, we also have a furniture company, because its construction also has furniture manufacturing.
Of course.
So we also have a furniture company that helps to raise income to feed back into the program, still a non-profit, but we make beautiful furniture, totally operated as a business by women. The workers in the business are women, the marketing, the production, it's all women. And we're trying to change the face of manufacturing for people to understand women were the first fundis. Our grandmothers were the first fundis. And women can come back to this male-dominated sector and take over.
And take over. Yeah. I love that. There's something important that you have talked about in terms of barriers, you know, and of course the mindset, because we're talking about a construction site. Now, I want to come back to you, Celestine. We mentioned earlier about their fundis, their what, and like Tatu has said, earlier on, you'd come to a construction site, fundi wote ni wanaume. Now here you are, you're a supervisor, and you are now the boss of this. How do you deal? You know, how do you deal with fundis who are talking about they cannot take instructions from kutoka kwa mama?
It's not an easy task, but when you are in that company, you found those male fundis.
Yes, you did.
They normally say that a woman cannot control me, a woman cannot lead me. So you, at the back of your mindset, you just go there and you say, by yourself, I have to lead these people. These people are looking upon on me. And when you disrespect me, or when you disrespect your leader, I will not refer you to any of my clients. I'll not refer such a fundi to any of my clients. So when you are polite and you are disciplined and you do your work perfectly, that's when I find another job, I'll refer you I'll refer you to a client And when you go there and you do a perfect work again, that client will refer you to another client. So that's how we normally find our work, and that's how we normally manage our work.
And I like your mantra, you know, you're part of the team.
Yeah.
That's a very excellent leadership skill. And of course, yours is also incentive-based. You know, you're telling someone, if you don't respect me, if you don't work with me, then the next job I will party, you know. What about you, Patience? Let's go to you. You are handling money matters. You are talking. Your go-ahead is necessary for a project. You've been hired in a place. How do you assert yourself, especially in a male-dominated boardroom, for instance?
The first thing is to just do everything by the book. Because when it comes to getting the work done, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, the job has to be done.
True.
So once you have done the right thing, that also builds confidence. No one can tell you anything because you are sure of what you have put on the table for discussion or adoption. Yes, there may be people who might have a bit of resistance, but you have to be firm. You have to be firm because you believe in what you have done. It's also very important to put your foot down on the decisions you make. In practice, we all take liability for the information we give a client, whether you're an architect, engineer, QS, the information that we give a client, we have to have professional indemnity for it. So because you're the one who has done it, you cannot let someone who is not going to be, who will not take any responsibility for changes to your work, come and dictate that. So I think it's important to always shift from the male-female mindset and focus on, has the job been done, and do the job well. It's good to have as many women come on board. So I usually just encourage them, do it, even if you're scared, just do it. Don't let anyone see that you're scared, but you know what you're doing.
That's excellent. I'm really hoping young ladies who are watching and listening to our QS today and learning a lot. I really like that, you know, focus not on your gender, but on your expertise. If I'm good, I am good. It doesn't matter whether I'm a woman or not. You have to respect me because I have a track record to show for it. Thank you so much. Let's move on to you, Tatu. If we're looking at the landscape, the construction, the built industry landscape, and there are a few things that you can add or remove in this whole that you have found and you have witnessed in the past from the early 90s, from the 90s. What is the one thing that you can add or remove in terms of gender equity in the built industry? Yeah.
I think the first thing for me is pulling off from what Patience said. One thing we say in Build Her is a fundi, is a fundi, is a fundi. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, the job is the job. A painter in Dubai or the UK or the US is a painter. So first of all, it's for employers or contractors, owners of companies to understand. Are you interested in gender or are you interested in workforce?
And getting the job done.
And getting the job done. Because if you want a good job, then hire the best person for the job.
Absolutely.
Right now, the challenge TVETs are facing is that employers don't believe in TVETs. They say you're not training people for us. But for the people who are focused on TVETs, we are saying, tell us exactly what you need, tell us the competency, let's train for it, you test, you tell us if the workers are good. So I would advocate for people to come out of this mindset. Many employers think, oh, bringing a woman to a site, we don't even have separate facilities, oh, it's so hard. Is it? If it reduces your timelines, your waste, if it makes your project efficient, wouldn't you create space for that worker? Absolutely. So come out of this mindset of how sites are. If we're talking about sites, like I said, our grandmothers were the first builders. So women were already there before, and there's a reason. So create space for good workers, support good workers, give them the tools, the PPE, the spaces they need even to change. In a company, you do so much to enable your workers to be comfortable, to be productive. Construction has to change that mindset. Stop looking at it like informal workers. They are a workforce. Create space for them, create support for them, and work with the training programs that are trying to give you the workers you need.
Wow. Well said. According to you, Celestine, wewe ndo uko kwa ground. According to you, what are some of the things that now we're talking to the owners of construction sites, you know, employers, what can they do to make the women comfortable?
Okay, the first thing that they must consider, or they may consider, changing room. Women should have their own changing room, and male to have their own changing room. Secondly, a company must have an organization that train women, both fundis, let's say women and men,
Yes.
on how to conduct themselves on site. Like the company I'm working with right now, Dazzling Emma Limited, it has other sectors that train fundis. When you come in that company, we have other teachers that train fundis how to conduct themselves, how to carry themselves. You as a woman, how should I conduct myself? Thirdly, washrooms. We must have male and female washroom.
Thank you so much. And I think that's just the bare minimum, to be quite honest. This is human decency. So thank you so much for that, Celestine. And I really hope that the construction workers who are out there, real estate companies, everybody who's involved in the construction industry is taking heed of the words that we're getting from the ground. And we will be back for the question and answer session for more information that you definitely should be jotting down. But for now, let's take a short break. Welcome back to Dadas Show, where women's voices rise, lead, and build the future. Remember, the conversation is about women in construction, and boy, what a fast session we've had. So now we are moving on to my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session, which gives an opportunity to our audience to ask questions that I'm sure even you at home might have. So remember to get in touch with us across all social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. You can also reach us on Dadas Show KBC on Facebook and my personal page at Ashiko the host. We'll start off this particular session with Mombi. Mombi, karibu sana.
Thank you very much for an interactive session. My question goes to QS Rachel. My name is Architect Mombi Minor, and my question is regarding leadership and women leadership. I know you are a leader at AK, at Borax, at Women in Real Estate Wire, and also among the directors in your company. I'd really like to know more about leadership. What inspired you towards leadership, and what your leadership journey has been like? Thank you.
Thank you. Leadership did not come naturally to me. I had a colleague who was already in leadership and pulled me in. So she walked the journey with me through AAK. So I'd say I had a mentor for that, which really helped. Same to Borax and same to Wire. We've had a very good mentor in our former president and also the immediate past president. So that has helped us, that has helped to shape my leadership journey. And with Wire, I think it comes naturally because it is something I'm doing for others and myself, advancing the interests of women in the built environment. So I think it's not something I just have to think, what would I want? Because that's the same I'd want for other women. With regards to leadership in the company, that was also through a promotion by the directors. I think they also wanted to have some female leadership, but I believe I also earned it. I don't think they just put me there because I'm a woman. So I think it's important to do your job well so that people are confident in you. So we are all leaders in different capacity. It's sometimes I think just doing away with these titles and just know at the end of the day it's about getting the job done.
Getting the job done. I love that. Thank you so much, QS Rachel. We're going to move on to our next question, which is from Diana. Diana, karibu sana.
Thank you very much. I've quite been listening, quite inspiring stories for being in this construction industry. And that begs me to ask and wonder, considering how the construction industry is fast-paced, demanding, requires a lot of time input, and I'm looking at all of you here, and I see that you're a parent, a sister, a sibling. So how do you get to balance all that to bring a wholesome you that gets to transfer that level of experience both in your personal life and in your work life and attain that balance of success?
My answer is often not the favored answer. I think leadership, starting an organization or a company, it's a journey. Just like you have a newborn, there are stages of a child's life where you may not sleep and then things are okay. So I think number one, select your journey so that you're ready to do the work. If you select a journey and you're happy, it's not work because you're in it.
Exactly.
And then accept the path of the journey. So for me, for the last 7 years of Build Her, I haven't had a very good balance because I'm starting something so different and it requires my time. But as the company is stabilizing, as I'm building my team and systems, I'm starting to be able to build back my social networks. I also select friends who can understand that journey. And my family have been very supportive. They don't judge me. If I'm not able to come, if I'm not able to do something, sometimes people can be unhappy, but when they see that it's a difficult period, when the period eases, you're back, then they can support you through that. So pick the people around you who understand your passion and your purpose.
Okay, wow. Understanding passion, purpose, and support system. That is Tatu's manual for doing work-life balance. What about you, Celestine? How do you balance?
To me, I usually plan my work.
Yes.
I have, let's say I have a to-do list. I plan it. I know this time I have to create time for my family. This time I have to create time for work. So when I come at work, I report at 8. I have to work for 8 hours. I end my work at 5. Then I go home and be with my family, my sisters, my sibling.
Let's move on. What about you, Rachel? QS Rachel. What do you do? With all this, you're sitting on 57 boards, you're managing 12 companies, you know, how do you manage, you know, your own personal life?
I do what needs to be done in the moment.
Okay.
Because you can't do everything. So if I need to be in the office, I will be in the office. If I can't, I will discuss it with my co-directors so they'll be aware. Like now, they know I'm here.
Yes.
Yes. And I can also delegate tasks. I'm good at delegating.
Wow. Yeah.
At least that's one thing I like about what I do.
Yes.
Then when I'm home. I'm resting. I avoid carrying work home unless for some reason I'm the one who delayed to execute and the deadline is coming along. I don't believe in construction emergencies unless the building is collapsing, and that will now be the engineer and the architect. Everything, if it's 4 and you call and, I need this BQ, I need this cost to be clarified, it's 4.
Yeah.
Who am I going to delegate that to?
Exactly.
If I was an employee, I also would not want that. Yes, so it's important to let everyone know, whether it's a client, a fellow professional, even friends. People have to understand boundaries. This is work time, this is me time, this is friendship time, family time.
Okay.
Because you just can't do it all.
Do it all.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. And I really hope that your question has been answered, Diana. We're going to move on to our next question of the day, which is from Njoki. Njoki, karibu sana.
I am Njoki, and I'm a builder of souls because I'm a preacher. And one thing that has concerned me is the economic status between female and male workers, because I've always been interested in community social life. And so I'm asking this from Celeste. You have been a worker, you have been a supervisor, you are now a site manager. Have you found in your experience any impartiality between the two, male and female, or any imbalances in payments or how they pay for services rendered? Or do they apply equally for everybody?
Okay, what I can say, it's for our starters, like when I started this journey, I was being paid low because that time I was getting experience and being taught more. So it depends. The way I see it, it depends by how you upskill your skills and how you perfect your work. You have to do your work perfectly. Like as women, I can say that we normally do our work perfect. Like me, when you give me a job to do, a painting job to do, I have to do it perfectly. I even come back and sit and say to myself, wow, I've done it, Celestine. So the moment even an employer pops in or come to see my work, he will just say, wow, this one, I have to increase your payment, or I have to pay you for the good work you have done. So it's really general. When you do your work good, when you upskill your work, when you upskill yourself, the payment will be good. And to tell you the truth, in this construction industry, it's a good industry for women.
Really nice, Celestine, and I love that. And I, first of all, over and above everything, I really do appreciate your attitude towards the job. You're not sitting down thinking, who is making more money than me? You're more interested in, let me upskill. But definitely, the salary disparity is a reality in Kenya. You know, I'm happy that Celestine has not experienced it yet, meaning that at least in her areas of work, it's working out. What are some of the things that, first of all, employees, construction workers, artisans should know about their rights, so that this particular cap that is always put, you're a male worker, you're a female worker, what more can they know so that we can close the gap in terms of what a woman deserves and what a man deserves?
So first, I'd say that's a very good question, and not just because Joki is my mother, but it's a very good question. And what we see, Builder has trained over 900 women in the last 7 years. What we've seen is there is definitely a disparity, especially when women are starting their careers. So even Celestine, she experienced it in the very beginning. When women start and you go to site, nobody thinks you can do the job. So they're always lowballing you, and they make it like a favor. We don't know what you can do. There's no woman here. Come, you'll work under someone. So one of the things we do as Builder is we have to build that grit and resilience in women. Those first few months are going to be very trying for you. But the more you get onto site, the more you even learn their language. If you see the difference in a worker, day 1 versus 6 months, she's a mwenyeji. She goes to site, she's told you can't do the work. She's like, wacha, give me the test. Wacha kuongea sana. Let me work. So even someone is like, hey, bas, go do the sample. So over time, women now rely on their competency. And that's when the money balances out. Once you're confident, once you can go and you can talk back in a nice way, because there's a way people talk on site, then they are quick to test you and they see you can do the job. And even in architecture, I was lowballed. I was paid less as a woman when I started. But I learned the language, I learned how to conduct myself, I learned the key things needed. When you go for an interview, they ask you a question, unarusha. You ask back, they're like, oh, you're an architect, yes. Then people respect you. So one of the things I would tell young women who are starting out is learn the field. Don't be comfortable. You're always going to be lowballed in the beginning. So take time to learn the systems, processes, language of your trade so that you speak it. Even when a man is trying to harass you or trying to lowball you, you can talk back and you're professional about it, and they have no choice but to move on. And in this sector of ours, it costs so much. People are looking for good workers. Architects, the workforce, painters, as long as you do your work, you're paid equally. So for now the employers and the clients, what I would say is, you have the power to control your site supervisor. It doesn't matter whether it's a man or woman, what is the test you're giving the worker? I need to know what test are you giving them, and then what is the category of pay, so that you make it fair. Whether it's a man or woman who comes, they are tested the same. Because another thing we saw in Build Her is women are tested differently. A woman goes to site to do a test, she's given a short time, she's given bad tools, bad materials in the initial stages. So make sure your sites, make sure your sites are not wasting time, and they're using your resources well, and they're being efficient. If you do that, then you create an equal playing field, and women don't have to overcome those initial difficult stages of work where it's up to a woman to have grit to survive. Men don't have to worry about that.
They don't have to worry about that.
So create that equal playing field. But I'd say initially it is a very big problem. But as women go 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year into the field, it equals out.
Okay, wow. We understand why they are known as the resilient ones. You know, have vision, be resilient. You know, you're a woman. You definitely can be able to handle it. Thank you so much, Njoki, who now Tatu says you are Tatu's mom. We're so privileged to have you here. Thank you so much. It's an honor. So let's move on to our next and our final question of the day, which is from Lydia. Lydia, karibu sana.
My question is around branding. Of course, the discussion is surrounding women in the construction field. So I would just like to get insight, or rather, what advice would you give to young women who are starting their careers on how to stand out and brand themselves in the industry?
That's really important, especially when brands nowadays are so confused. How do you brand yourself? Are you having a brand that will last you your lifetime? Is it going to make you marketable, employable? Now, the best person, I think, to answer this one is definitely Madam Rachel, CEO of CEOs, boss lady. Tuambie, how can a young woman who's watching us today brand herself as she's starting in her career, whichever field it may be?
The most important thing is to be known as you're good at what you do. I think that's the most important place to start, because once people always know that there's this person who can do that, they'll always look for you. When it comes to other areas, because you know branding is a wholesome thing, there's the career, there's the spiritual part, your social life. And there are people who want one brand for everything, and then there are those who want different brands for the different spaces that they go into. What do you want people to see you as? Do you care about dressing? Dress well if it's important to you. The way you pick out your clothes, people say first impressions matter. Absolutely. Yes? So don't go for a job interview in jeans and a tank top. I mean, even if we are trying to promote women, you know, in this era of sexual harassment, there's no employer who will want you to sit with his male or her male employees, because they already see this is disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, so you have to dress appropriately, use proper language in your professional settings, in your social circles. It's that is usually personal with how you relate to your friends. So there are people who accept certain language and others do not. So it's important to be aware of your surroundings, the people you're interacting with, what you're trying to achieve. When she said know the processes and how the game is played, it's the same thing. How do I need to show up in this setting? And the good thing these days, there's a lot on the internet. We have people who are helping with the personal branding. But before you go for all that, what do you want? Exactly. Because you can't copy someone's brand. It's a lot to carry. But there's you. I am this kind of person. I like this. I can tolerate this, I can't tolerate that. So those are just the basics, and then you build up on that, and it takes time. So one day I will look at you and I'm like, there's a young girl there, she's looking for a job, but hey, she looks like she's a lot of work. But you know, you will build up on that. Another 3 years, I meet you somewhere, and you're like, yeah, we met the other time. I'm like, oh, really? And you know, it's because of the improvement. It's continuous improvement, what you're doing for yourself, reading, interacting with people, and having knowledge about different things. So it's not just construction industry. You have to be able to have conversations outside your profession. All that builds your brand. So you'll hear people say things like, oh yeah, she's a very intelligent person, because when they have conversations with you, you can switch from this to that, and it's a proper conversation. It's not an argument. You can articulate yourself well, and yeah, it's a process, and it's we all have a brand, but we don't know it.
Yeah.
A few are actually intentional about building it. So it's a good question, and that means you're alert to it. So that's something you work towards.
Wow.
Yes.
Those are definitely words of wisdom from the boss lady. There are so many profound things, so many gems that were inside that, about knowing yourself, identifying yourself, and certain things that even last the tons of time. How to communicate, how do you present yourself? You know, I know Gen Z, you're all about self-expression, you know, creativity and stuff like that, but always remember, this is a work, maybe this is work environment, this is home environment, this is with your friends. There are certain unwritten rules that definitely cascade time. So good communication, good appearance, good mannerisms, those ones will be there when we are all long, you know, gone. So it's sometimes important to invest in those ones before we even go far. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful parting shot, if I may use it as that. Let us move on for a very, very quick parting shot from the rest of my panelists, very briefly, in regards to today's conversation, or anything that you feel that you'd want to share with our viewers. I'll start off with you, Celestine. Then I'll finish off with you, Tatu.
Okay, what I can say is that when you have a passion on something and you want to do it, believe in yourself, carry yourself with head high, trust in yourself and trust in the process, and do it. Don't look back, don't even hear what people say that this industry is a male-dominated industry, this industry need only men. No. A woman can also do it, and a woman can also stand for it, and a woman can also be a leader. Yeah. Never look down upon yourself, just be yourself and trust in yourself. Thank you.
Beautiful, I love that. Let's move on to Tatu. What are your parting shots?
Yeah, thank you, that was so beautiful.
That was really beautiful, you touched me here.
Yes. To add to that, I would say that construction has so many opportunities. Right now, when you look at the rate of underemployment and unemployment in Kenya, and you look at the careers people are going to, I think one thing young people have to understand, the women who come to build her come to us often because they didn't have a lot of choices. But we say, take this choice and create other choices. And many women, like Celestine, end up falling in love with the sector, and they're even the ones now bringing others in. So the road to success, the road to fulfillment, it's not what we think. I was an architect. Now I call myself a delinquent architect because I'm not practicing as much. And I want to go back to architecture, but right now I'm building the construction sector with women. And I'm finding fulfillment. And I think a lot of young people are so stuck on, you know, what's my purpose? Nobody knows. Just choose an avenue, choose a path, dedicate to that path, know it, understand it, be an expert. This thing of hustle culture, you don't build societies with hustle culture.
No, you do not.
You add. Hustle culture ni chumvi, ni spices. You have to create your path and then add money through hustles. But choose something, be an expert, grow. And if you choose to change, you're a free person, change.
Absolutely.
But young people should be a bit more open, a bit more experimentative, and they should go into places where there are gaps and build a life there for as long as you can and change when you want.
Absolutely. And I really, that's brilliant. I mean, I don't even feel like there's anything else I can add on to that, because there's so many avenues that have been presented to young people. Some of us, when we were growing up, the careers were 4. And it was those 4. And if you don't get those 4, then you're done for the rest of your life. So explore, like she said, explore. Don't be so frigid. Be fluid. There's so many ways that you can make money. And if you want to change and move your careers, then so be it. Do that. So we have come to the end of this really, really wonderful, engaging episode of Dadas Show. Remember, the conversation was in women in construction. So if you have any feedback, questions, comments about this episode and any other that we have had on Dadas Show, remember you can find all the episodes of Dadas Show under the KBC YouTube page. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow. So on behalf of the production team at KBC, my location partner Pullman Nairobi here in Upper Hill, and myself Ashiko Mbone, my wonderful audience, I wish you all a lovely, constructive, uplifting week, and I will catch you same time, same place next week. But for now, goodbye.